Just hours before his tariffs were set to take effect, President Donald Trump made a surprising shift in his trade policy. Originally, the tariffs were designed to penalize countries that, in Trump's view, had an unfair trade advantage over the United States. However, in a sudden announcement aboard Air Force One, the president indicated a change in approach. This unexpected decision sent shockwaves through financial markets and left analysts scrambling to understand the potential consequences. The original tariff strategy. Trump's tariff plan was initially positioned as a measure to protect American industries and workers. The administration targeted adversaries such as China, accusing them of unfair trade practices, including currency manipulation and intellectual property theft. The goal was to impose high tariffs on imports from these nations to make American products more competitive and reduce the United States' trade deficit. However, the strategy also had its critics. Economists and business leaders warned that these tariffs could lead to higher costs for American consumers and businesses reliant on imported goods. There was also the risk of retaliatory tariffs from other nations which could harm U.S. exporters, particularly in the agricultural and manufacturing sectors. A sudden shift in policy. The last-minute pivot in Trump's stance suggested a move away from a blanket approach of penalizing perceived trade adversaries. Instead, the president indicated that exemptions or adjustments might be made, potentially sparing certain allies. This shift raised numerous questions. Was this a strategic recalibration in response to backlash from United States businesses? Was it a negotiation tactic to secure better trade agreements? Or was it a sign of internal disagreements within the administration over the economic impact of the tariffs? One possible explanation for this change could be the mounting pressure from United States allies, including Canada, Mexico, and the European Union. These nations had strongly opposed the tariffs, arguing that they would not only damage their own economies but also hurt American businesses that rely on international trade. Some United States lawmakers, even from Trump's own party, had also voiced concerns that the tariffs could backfire, potentially leading to job losses rather than job creation. Immediate global reactions. Markets reacted swiftly to Trump's unexpected announcement. Initially, the stock market had dipped in anticipation of the tariffs taking effect, as investors feared trade tensions would escalate. However, once news broke of a possible shift in policy, markets rebounded slightly, suggesting relief among traders that a full-blown trade war might be averted, at least for now. Internationally, the reaction was mixed. While some allies expressed cautious optimism that they might be spared from the harshest measures, China and other major trade partners remained skeptical. Beijing, in particular, had already signaled its readiness to retaliate with tariffs of its own, targeting key United States exports such as soybeans, automobiles, and aircraft. Potential economic consequences. The broader implications of Trump's shift in trade policy remain uncertain. If the administration follows through with selective tariffs while exempting allies, the United States could maintain stronger trade relations with friendly nations while focusing its trade war efforts on China. This could prevent an all-out global trade conflict but might still strain relations with countries that feel unfairly targeted. For the American economy, the impact of the tariffs, whether applied broadly or selectively, could be significant. Higher tariffs on imported goods could lead to increased costs for consumers and businesses. If manufacturers have to pay more for raw materials like steel and aluminum, they may pass these costs on to consumers, leading to higher prices for everything from cars to canned goods. On the other hand, some United States industries that compete with foreign imports might benefit from reduced competition, potentially boosting domestic production and job growth in certain sectors. Small businesses could be among the hardest hit. Many rely on imported materials to keep costs low and remain competitive. If they face higher input costs, some may struggle to stay afloat, leading to layoffs or closures. The agriculture sector is also particularly vulnerable. American farmers depend heavily on exports, and retaliatory tariffs from China and other nations could reduce demand for United States agricultural products, cutting into farmers' incomes. What's next? As the situation unfolds, several key questions remain unanswered, like: Number 1, will the administration officially announce exemptions for certain allies? And if so, which countries will be spared? Number 2, how will China and other major trade partners respond to this apparent shift in United States policy? Number 3, what long-term impact will these trade measures have on American industries and consumers? Number 4, will Trump's strategy ultimately result in better trade deals for the United States, or will it backfire? For now, Trump's sudden policy shift has injected a level of uncertainty into global trade relations. While some businesses and investors may find relief in the possibility of exemptions, the overarching trade tensions remain unresolved. The world will be watching closely to see how this evolving trade war plays out, and whether the United States economy can weather the storm or fall into the very pitfalls that critics of protectionist policies have long warned about. Political implications. Trump's shift in trade policy could also have major political ramifications. Throughout his presidency, he positioned himself as a champion of American workers and a tough negotiator on trade. If the administration backs down from imposing tariffs on certain countries, it could be seen as a sign of weakness by his supporters who expect a hardline approach. At the same time, the move could also be viewed as a pragmatic adjustment to avoid economic fallout. With midterm elections approaching, the administration may be seeking to minimize economic disruptions that could hurt Republican candidates. If the tariffs were to lead to job losses or a slowdown in economic growth, it could undermine Trump's key argument that his policies are strengthening the American economy.